Hi everybody, my name is Jeff.
Hi everybody, I'm Hanny.
Is the way it goes.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Anyways, welcome to part 1 of our Trends and Fads lesson. This month we'll be covering a serious topic. Childhood hunger.
Correct. The title of our lesson is Fighting Childhood Hunger. Children should not go hungry. Children should not starve either. We should do everything in our power to make sure that children always have enough food.
I agree. In many poor countries, children go hungry, and this needs to stop. Is there something that we can do about this? Yes, absolutely. We'll be learning about how to do this month.
First, though, we're going to discuss childhood hunger. I think we all know that childhood hunger is bad, but do we really know how big of a problem it is?
For instance, did you know that childhood hunger can make children weak and sick? It's pretty sad.
Very sad. Okay, everyone, let's start today's lesson. After going over today's vocabulary, we'll begin to learn all about childhood hunger.
Right. Then, during part 2 of our lesson, we'll learn how to fight childhood hunger. But before we can do any of these things, we need to review today's vocabulary. After that, we'll start in on our lesson.
有些孩子可能因为家里贫困或是家长无力照顾而三餐不稳定，过着饥饿的生活。那这些孩子是受饥儿，他们需要你我的关心和帮助。那么标题里面有一个单字是 hunger， 它就是 hungry 的名词，用来表达饥饿、饥荒的意思。像是 Millions of children die from hunger each year.Millions of children die from hunger each year. 每年有好几百万个孩童死于饥饿。好，那么课文一开始提到，当我们肚子饿、肚子空空的时候，会去吃东西嘛？可是全世界有好几百万的孩子过着饥饿的生活，几乎每天都吃不饱。那就算有东西吃，也通常是廉价、没什么营养的食物，以至于身体变得虚弱，不容易抵抗疾病。那这边用到3个单字。Empty 在课文里面是当形容词，形容是空的。例如 There are a few empty seats in the third row. There are a few empty seats in the third row. 第3排还有几个空位。好，那么下一个单字 cheap 是指廉价的、便宜的，那它是一个形容词。例如Dave always orders the cheapest items on the menu. Dave always orders the cheapest items on the menu. Dave 总是点菜单上面最便宜的东西，那么 cheapest 就是 cheap 的最高级，表示最便宜的。最后一个单字 weak 是指虚弱的、无力的，也是一个形容词。像是 She felt a bit weak after giving blood.She felt a bit weak after giving blood. 她捐完血之后，觉得身体有一点虚弱。好，那现在看完单字例句，我们来看课文吧。
When we're hungry, our stomachs are empty. Sometimes they make noises to tell us to feed them. After that, we eat something. However, millions of poor children around the world can't do
that.Explanation 1.
Welcome back to part 1 of this month's Trends and Fads. Today, we're going to talk about childhood hunger.
Right. The title of our lesson is Fighting Childhood Hunger. 今天的课文标题是 Fighting Childhood Hunger， 抢救受饥儿，需要你我伸出援手。 儿童饥饿是很严重的问题。那么这3天的课文是关于受饥儿，那我们可以借由这样的机会来了解这个问题的严重性，还有该如何关心和帮助受饥儿。那我们先补充一下 ，childhood 表示童年时期。那在开场的时候，我们有用到 starve 这个动词，它可以表达饿死或是挨饿的意思。Now, all of us have been hungry at one point or another.
That's true. And when we get hungry, we deal with our hunger. We eat something. Easy, right? Well, not for everyone, we'll learn.
Anyway, yes, when we're hungry, our stomachs are empty. That's what hunger is. It's that feeling you get when there's nothing in your belly or when you haven't eaten in a while.
Sometimes our stomachs even make noises to tell us to feed them. Our stomachs are saying, "Hey, you, feed me."
Feed me. Indeed, our stomachs growl. That's right. So what do we do after our stomachs growl? Well, after that, we eat something. And it's as easy as that. However, this is only easy for people like us.
We're very lucky to be able to eat whenever we choose to. You see, millions of poor children around the world can't do that.
Did you hear that? These children can't eat when they're hungry. How terrible is that?
That's about as bad as it gets, I'd say.
So sad. 肚子饿的时候呢，我们肚子会咕噜咕噜叫，提醒我们该吃东西了。然后接着可能就会去吃点东西嘛。可是世界上有很多孩子得挨饿，没办法想吃什么就吃什么。我们补充一下 ，growl 这个字呢，可以用来指低声的吠叫，可是它也可以用来描述我们肚子咕噜咕噜叫。Okay, folks, with that, it is now time to take a break. We'll be back soon, though, to talk some more about childhood hunger.
Those children live with hunger. Most of the time, they don't get enough to eat every day. When they do get some food, it's often cheap and has very little nutrition. Going hungry isn't good for children. It makes their bodies weak, and they can't fight off diseases easily. So, they're more likely to get sick.
Explanation 2.
Welcome back to part 1 of this month's Trends and Fads lesson titled Fighting Childhood Hunger. Childhood hunger is a thing, everyone. There are kids out there who don't have food.
Yep, when these children are hungry, they stay hungry. Some may even starve. That's so sad.
It is. We're very lucky to live in a place where, when our stomachs growl, we can find some food and take care of our hunger. There are many children out there, though, who are not so lucky.
Those children live with hunger.
Indeed. Most of the time, they don't get enough to eat every day. Just think of that. Going hungry most every day and or most of the time. How terrible. Right, Teacher Daphne?
大家好，我是 Daphne。今天的第一则文法是 most of the time， 意思是大部分的时间。most 是名词，意思是大部分。time 是名词，意思是时间。例如 most of the time, Dara brings lunch to work. 大多数的时候 Dara 会自己带午餐到公司。
And we're back. Thank you, Teacher Daphne. Many children live with hunger. What does this mean? It means they don't get enough food most of the time.
They're pretty much hungry all the time. They're almost always starving. Oh, sad, right? Oh, yeah. But it gets worse. When they do get some food, it's often cheap and has very little nutrition.
Did you hear that? These kids finally get some food, but this food is not good food. Often it's cheap and doesn't do much good for those who eat it.
Eating this food is better than eating nothing at all, but it's not much better. Oh, what poor children.
Indeed, going hungry isn't good for children. And by the way, there's more to hunger than just hunger.
Or to being hungry, yeah. When these children are hungry, bad things happen to their bodies. Hunger makes their bodies weak, and they can't fight off diseases easily.
And that is not a good thing, right, Teacher Daphne?
第二则文法是 fight off， 意思是击退、抵抗疾病或令人不愉快的事物。Fight 是及物动词，意思是与点点点作战。三态是 fight、fought、fought。Off 是副词，意思是离开。Fight off 字面意思就是击退，引申指抵抗疾病或令人不愉快的事物。例如 The soldiers fought off the attack， 士兵击退了攻击。
谢谢 Daphne 老师的讲解。刚刚说到受饥儿，即使有东西吃，通常也都是一些廉价又没什么营养的食物。那由于挨饿会让孩童身体变得虚弱，不容易抵抗疾病，因此就更有可能生病了。课文里面两个补充单字 nutrition， 它表示营养，那它的形容词是在后面加上 al 变成 nutritional， 就可以形容是营养的、营养成分的，我们就可以用 nutritional value 来指营养价值。还有一个补充单字 disease 表示疾病。
I'll say it again. These poor, poor kids. It's bad enough being hungry all the time, but these kids often get sick too because their bodies can't fight off diseases.
Right, so for this reason, they're more likely to get sick, which, yes, is heartbreaking. Don't you think so, Teacher Daphne?
第三则文法是 Somebody is more likely to 加原形动词，意思是某人比较有可能做某事。More 是副词，意思是更。Likely 是形容词，意思是可能的。后方用不定词 to be 表示可能会做的事情。例如 Laura is more likely to help you。Laura 比较有可能帮助你。
And we're back, but not for long. You see, with that, it is time for a break. But come back next time. We're going to talk about fighting childhood hunger.
Yep, see you then. 休息一下，马上回来哦。
Fighting childhood hunger. When we're hungry, our stomachs are empty. Sometimes they make noises to tell us to feed them. After that, we eat something. However, millions of poor children around the world can't do that. Those children live with hunger. Most of the time, they don't get enough to eat every day. When they do get some food, it's often cheap and has very little nutrition. Going hungry isn't good for children. It makes their bodies weak, and they can't fight off diseases easily. So, they're more likely to get sick.
Ooh, fabulous. Beautiful. Oh, salut! This iron tower is huge, right? It is the tallest structure in Paris. Its height equals an 81-story building. Let me tell you a secret. The Eiffel Tower grows another 17 centimeters every summer. Do you know why? Because iron expands in heat. The Eiffel Tower was built in 1889 for the World's Fair. It was only planned to stand for 20 years. However, after a radio antenna was put on it, the French government decided not to tear it down. Now, it is the most visited paved structure in the world. Can you believe that every year it attracts over 6 million visitors to ride to the top? It looks even more beautiful at night. It's lit up by 20,000 light bulbs and has a giant moving spotlight. Let's go get our tickets. The view from the top is amazing. Oh, wait a minute. Let me take a photo with you and this beautiful thing.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 欢迎收看我们1分钟的单元。在这1分钟的时间里面，我们要复习4个单字，还会造句练习。同学们，您都准备好没？好，1分钟计时。开始，第一个单字呢是指饥饿或是饥荒。那这怎么说呢？你知不知道肚子饿那个字叫做 hungry？ 那它的名词就是这个字叫 hunger， 饥饿饥荒。A hamburger will not be enough to satisfy his hunger。一个汉堡不足以让他止住饥饿。好，第二单字呢是形容空的、空荡荡的，完全没有东西，空无一人的。好，这字叫 empty。He rushed to the classroom and found it empty。他匆匆忙忙跑去教室，却发现教室空无一人。好，第三单字形容这个便宜的、廉价的，它叫 cheap。He bought a cheap watch at the night market。他在夜市买一只便宜的手表。第四单字形容虚弱的、无力的、很弱的，这字叫 weak。The patient is too weak to get out of bed。那位病人虚弱到无法起身离开床。好啦，不管怎么样，我们已经轻轻松松在1分钟之内复习完4个单字，也造完例句咯。同学们表现很棒那我们下次见，拜拜。
See you next time.